Cool. So let's start in a comfortable seat, you guys. You can sit on blanket, block, bolster, pillow, whatever you got there. And let's just take a few moments to let our bodies settle and relax and check in with our mind, the state of our mind. So let your hands just rest on your thighs somewhere, either palms down or up, or maybe in your lap, whoever feels comfortable. And then let your eyes eventually close and start to tune into your breath. And take a few rounds of your breath to check in. You might inhale through your nose, sigh out through your mouth a couple of times. We're breathing all day long, but you may not even have noticed your breath once today, or maybe you have, but right now take the time to check in with it. You want to relax the body, soften your muscles, soften your shoulders. Relax the jaw and the cheeks and the eyes. And allow the belly to expand and contract as you start to deepen your breath. Maybe you look for a rhythm with your breath, trying to even out your inhales and your exhales so that they're just about the same length. And then continue with your breath. Bring your hands to your low belly. So just about right where that second chakra would be. So low belly, below the belly button. And just take a few moments to breathe into this space and bring your awareness to this space. So when we talk about the chakras, they're spinning wheels of energy. So think about bringing energy to this area of the body. And this chakra is about creativity. It's associated with the element of water. So we bring attention to this area of the body to maybe help get our creative juices flowing, perhaps. Let's take another breath here together. And then bring your hands up to your heart, Anjali Mudra, bow your head to your heart, and make an offering of your practice, of your time tonight. And let's gather our breath and share Om. So you'll breathe right down into that low belly space, that second chakra. Inhale nice and deep. And then you can relax your hands and let your eyes softly open. Blink a couple of times. And let's let our first pose here be a reclined butterfly pose. Let me give you a couple of options. So I have a bolster here lengthwise on my mat, and then I could take my blanket under my head and lay back. So butterfly, soles of the feet together, knees wide. So then if you have blocks, you can support your outer thighs. So we'll stay here for about 4 minutes. So you want to have some support even if you're pretty open in your inner thighs. So that's one option, it's nice and soft for your spine. If you have a pillow or bolster, maybe just a blanket. If you want more of a back bend, you can do that as well. You can take your blocks, maybe one on the medium height, lengthwise. I'll show you this way. And then one on the tall height that will go under your head. And so it's just a firmer base. You don't want that one. Okay, he's going to go for the first one. And then you'll lie back here. And then again, soles of the feet together, knees wide. And then what you could do to support your hips, so because you're using your blocks, you'll open up your blanket. And if you already know where you want to go, please feel free. Don't wait for me. Just like to give you some different options. But if you don't have two blocks or something to support your outer hips, you can roll up your blanket. And then when you take the soles of your feet together, you take the blanket over your feet and wrap it under your ankles. And that'll give you some support. It catches your legs. Okay, so use your blocks under your thighs or the blanket. Or if you have two big pillows. Okay. And take all the time you need to settle. Allowing your body to start to relax and become a little more passive. Shift your shoulders, your back, your head until it feels like it's all in the right place. Shift your feet, so they're not too far away from your hips, they're not too close, they're somewhere in between, always looking for ease and a sense of balance. And sweetness, actually, the second chakra, so the first chakra is Muladhara chakra in Sanskrit. The second one is Svadhisthana, which is the one we're talking about today, Svadhisthana. And Svadhisthana actually translates to sweetness. You'll feel that sense of sweetness in your shape, through your body, through your breath. Your arms rest maybe out to the sides, or one on your belly, one on your chest. You can feel your body moving as you breathe. In each pose that you come into, you want to find that ease, that sukha, and that sweetness wherever you can. So whatever you can soften, wherever you can let go of any gripping or holding, that will help you find that good space. And you have time to find that, to let go, to breathe a little bit deeper. And you might even, as you're relaxed, you might even feel that sense of ease or sweetness radiating out from your body into the room that you're in. And so again, this chakra is associated with being creative, and bringing energy here will help us to harness the energy that we need to be innovative, to make change. And the color associated with this chakra is orange. You might even imagine like an orange wheel spinning through your lower belly at any time in these shapes. just to keep your awareness there. Have just a few more moments in this pose. Let's take one more breath together. And then take your hands as you're ready to the outer thighs, and you want to carefully draw your legs back together. So use the support of your hands, there's no rush. You're just going to bring your legs back together and bring your feet onto the ground, and then pause. Good, and then you're going to roll over to one side and carefully press yourself up. Let your head be the last thing to come up. Good. And then you're going to move your props out of your way. Just take them down. And you might need a block under your feet. You'll see. We'll take figure 4. So go ahead and come on down. Maybe take a block under your right foot. And you're going to take your left ankle and cross it over your right knee. Okay, so this could be where you stay. Very passive, full of ease, widening around the sacrum, the back of the pelvis. Okay, if you want a little more, then you'll pick up that right foot and you'll thread your hands behind your right thigh. You could use a strap here. What's important as well is that your head and shoulders are relaxed. Okay, and I like to rock side to side a little bit here to find center, because if you're falling to the left, you'll lose out on the stretch through that outer left hip. So you want to try to keep that right knee in line with your right hip without working too hard or forcing anything. But the more centered your legs are, the more your left hip is available to sensation and to stretching and to moving energy. Okay, so about 3 minutes here, head and shoulders heavy. Body feeling heavy, bones dropping. Yeah, finding that sukha, that ease and the good space. And at any time, know you can grab your leg or you can let go of your leg. It's our time to check in and feel what will be most nourishing and most supportive for us right now, most beneficial. And when we want energy to flow, like through this lower chakra, we want to feel a sense of ease and comfort and space. Allowing the flow of energy, surrendering to it. Think like when you have a creative block, you can't force that creativity. You might have to take a break. And so you might be visualizing the color orange, the water element, feeling into your breath. And this second chakra, the goddess Lakshmi, be associated with this chakra. And Lakshmi represents the energy of abundance and prosperity and beauty and love and the feminine. And she's known as Shri, or auspiciousness, and auspiciousness represents, good things to come. So that could be in the form of money, it could be health, it could be wisdom, the flow. And abundance is a a flow of energy. So as we receive, we must also be willing to give. And that giving, it could be in the form of a prayer or a smile, a flower. Just a few more moments here. Okay, if you have your hands interlaced behind your leg, let's all meet with our foot back on the block if it's still there. If not, just have it on the ground. Just take a moment to pause. And then from here, we're going to take a twist over to the right. So you can maybe slide that block over to the right side. Cross your left thigh over your right and take your legs over to the right. And maybe the block is there to catch your left shin, or if you have another prop nearby, you're welcome to use that. Maybe a bolster or pillow. But you have your left thigh crossed over your right thigh, arms stretched out, and look over to your left. Help to drop your left shoulder down. Feel some length through the left side of your body and the outer left hip. If your shoulder is way off the ground, the left shoulder, then bring your hand to your ribs or slide something under the shoulder. So there's plenty of time. You don't have to rush and be in the pose. Like, make it make sense for you. So you want to have some support under the shoulder and under the legs. Let your eyes be soft. Relax through your jaw and anywhere else in the body that you might feel like you're tensing. You can bring that sense of ease. Maybe noticing the state of your mind. Is it busy? Or maybe it's quiet. Maybe it's dull, maybe it feels bright. Just a few more moments here. Let's take another breath together. And then as you're ready, bring your head back through center and then your legs back through center. And take a moment at center. So you might pause with your feet on the ground, or you might hug your knees in, take a little rock side to side, see what kind of counter pose might feel good right now. center pose, symmetrical pose. Notice your breath here. And then let's slide as you're ready, as easily as possible. Slide that block under your left foot on the ground so we can come into that figure 4 shape. You'll cross your right ankle over your left knee. And see if maybe you want to stay here. Back of your pelvis nice and heavy. There might be a little rocking side to side till you feel pretty balanced. And then if you know you want more right now, then pick up your legs and thread your hands behind your left thigh or use a strap. And as best you can, bring the left knee right in line with your hip. Feel the back body dropping nice and heavy. As you lean into the rhythm of your breath, the flow of your breath. Maybe draw your awareness in towards your belly and watch your belly rise and fall as you're breathing. I'm breathing in no particular way, so allowing the breath to flow. And you could visualize the color orange right at your belly center. I'm thinking about that this chakra again is associated with the element of water. You can, a lot of times, Lakshmi is pictured seated on a lotus flower floating through the cosmic waters. You might picture her. We try to maintain that balance or stay in that flow of receiving and also giving. Just a few more moments on this side. We'll take one more breath together. And then if you have your hands around your leg, let's all meet with our foot back on your block or the ground. Take a moment to pause. And then you'll want to slide maybe with your foot, kick the block over to the left or use a different prop. And you're going to cross your right thigh over your left this time to find your twist. You're welcome to shift your hips to the right if that helps you twist a little deeper. And use your block maybe under your right knee or your right shin, ankle. Stretch out your arms. Let your head fall to the right. That's okay for your neck and your shoulder. Keeping your arms extended, or if your shoulder is really high off the ground or your arm is really hanging in space, bring your hand to your ribs or slide a blanket or a pillow under your right shoulder for support. And take your time settling. Move around till it feels just right. Everything's in the right place. Move around till your mind feels like it can maybe settle. Maybe not all the way. We don't want to force anything to happen. But maybe just try to do what you can to soften through your body, your mind, into your heart space, your belly, and your breath. Just doing what you can in this moment. Notice where you're feeling these sensations. Notice if they're getting stronger as you hold the shape, or maybe you're finding more ease. Let's take one more breath together. And carefully bring your head back through center. And then your legs back through center, no rush, just to pause. So either with your feet on the ground or hug your knees to your chest, maybe a little rock side to side. Good. Now we're going to come into a supported bridge pose as you're ready. So you can even just take your block and slide it right under your pelvis. If you have two blocks, you can, so I would say if you have one block, take it on the low height under your pelvis. If you have two, you could put them side by side on the medium height under your pelvis, not your lower back, but your pelvis. Or you can take a soft prop like a bolster and slide that widthwise under your pelvis, okay, under your hips. Good, and then for now, just let your feet drop heavier in a supported bridge. So feet are heavy, you can even pick your feet up and put them back on the ground. Usually where they land is a good place. And your shoulders are heavy. Arms just down by your sides, relaxed. You're not gonna support the weight of your body, so you can even turn your palms up or take your arms over your head, stretch through your chest and your shoulders. We'll take a few more moments here, a couple more breaths, 5 or 6 more breaths. Just feeling into this shape, creating some space over the tops of your legs and the front of your hips, belly and chest. There's a slight lift of the chin here, just to feel the natural curve of your neck. And then from here, you might want to stay. This might be a good place to stay, or straighten out one leg at a time. So this will intensify the stretch over the front of your legs and your hips. And you can let your legs go out, maybe toward the quarters of your mat. Yeah, just let your feet fall open. And see how that feels for your back. So if you do a slight tuck of your pubic bone, like up toward your sternum, that might give you some more space in your back. If it becomes too much, then rebend your knees. And if you want, you can stretch out your arms overhead so you're like in a big star shape. And they can go out to the sides or elbows bent. And see if you start to tense anywhere or grip in your muscles anywhere. Just maybe notice if that has happened, and maybe you can soften. Reassure that everything is okay. Reassure your body that it can relax. Reassure your mind that you're safe. If you need to bend your knees, bend your knees. Okay, but such a great stretch for tops of the thighs, hip flexors, belly, chest. So a lot of the stomach meridian, which flows to the tops of the thighs, and the spleen. Okay, just a few more moments here. Let's take one more breath together. And then carefully, if your legs are straight, let's rebend one leg at a time. Good, so you're back in the supported bridge shape. You can lower your arms. And take your time, lift your hips off of your prop and then slide it out of the way and come back to a neutral spine. Good, just to pause. Just to pause, hips heavy, shoulders heavy. Check in with your breath. Good, take one more breath here. Good, so from here, you're gonna find that block again, or if you're near a wall, take your legs up the wall. If you're not near a wall, you can take your block back under your hips or your bolster, and then take your legs up. If you're near a chair, you can bring your legs up the chair and just bend your knees. Good. Let the back of your pelvis feel heavy so you don't feel like you're spilling, the top of your pelvis down. It should be grounded. Legs lifted. If you're at the wall, you could take your legs wide. You can come back to butterfly or just have them straight up to the sky. And so any extra fluid that is stuck in our feet or our ankles or our legs, it can flow down the legs here and refresh the low belly, this second chakra. Okay, so you might even picture a waterfall here, flowing down your legs and refreshing your belly. Remember the color's orange. You might picture again Lakshmi floating on her lotus through the cosmic waters. And the mantra associated, the bija or seed mantra associated with this chakra is Vam. Vam. And mantras can be very helpful with busy minds. They can slow the chatter of the mind. So anytime you can listen or chant or see the sound Vam in your head, kind of slow down the mental chatter. And connect with the energy in this second chakra. Just a few more moments here. Let's take one more breath together. And let's start to slowly come out of your pose. You might bend your knees, lower your feet down the wall. If you're at the wall, roll over to one side. Wherever you are, you can move the block out from under your hips. Put your feet down first. Lift your hips. Just roll over to one side. Just pause. And then when you're ready, make your way back to your mat. You're on your back. No rush. You'll hug your knees to your chest. So find Appanasana. You might rock a little bit side to side, or even draw some circles on the ceiling with your knees. Go in one direction. Moving around the bowl of your pelvis there. And then in the other direction a couple of times. Softening into your breath, maybe even more into the exhalations. And then let's take one last pose before Shavasana. It could be happy baby pose. You could catch your ankles or your feet, take your knees wide. You might come back to reclined butterfly. You might take your legs over your head, more like a plow pose or snail pose. And then whenever you're ready, no rush, set yourself up for Shavasana. You have that blanket. It might go under your head or over your body. Make sure you're nice and warm. Maybe the bolster slides under your knees. And your arms float out to the sides. with your palms facing up. Rocking your head a little side to side. Make sure you're right on the back of the head in a good place. And feel a space around your neck. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. And bring your shoulder blades toward each other and on your back. And take a deep breath. Feel space between your arms and your side waist. Relax your fingers. Breathe right into the low belly. Let your hips drop heavy. Allow your legs to drop heavy. See if you can feel a sense of relaxation or ease all the way through the tips of your toes. Maybe even imagine or feel that you're floating on water here, just bobbing along. Carefully up and down in the flow. Your body nice and heavy and relaxed. Just bring your hands to your low belly. Breathe in and down to your belly. Watch your hands rise. Exhale from the belly up and out through your nose. Watch your hands fall. So do that a few more times. Just slowly beginning to deepen your breath. And feeling the feedback of your breath in your hands. And then as you're ready, you can start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Roll your ankles and your wrists. Next breath in, stretch your arms over your head and reach from your fingertips all the way to your toes. Exhale, let your body drop heavy again. And then bend your knees and roll over to one side, pausing in your fetal shape. And then with your eyes soft or closed, use as little energy as possible to press yourself up to a seat. And then find your seat and peek your eyes open just for a moment. Let's end with Pushpaputa Mudra. So you bring the outer edges of your hands together. Let your palms face the sky right in front of your heart. So handful of flowers. It's a gesture of offering. Let your eyes close again. Just imagine holding flowers lightly in your hands. Connecting, cultivating generosity here. And connecting again with the energy of abundance and prosperity and beauty and love. And receiving the blessings that are all around us. Close your palms together, Anjali Mudra. Draw your hands toward your heart. Come back to your offering for practice. And let's close together with sound of Om. Empty your breath. And breathe deeply all the way into your low belly. Om. Thank you all for the blessing of your company. I hope you have a lovely evening, and may others as well benefit from our practice. Namaste.